Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for your ROH and Impact post show for May 18th already. Guys, of all the reasons I've had to start late for a post show, things happen. My internet is crap. You guys know that. Sometimes co-hosts they're having technical issues. Sometimes the stream is weird. For whatever reason, the past 2 weeks in a row that I've entered, it has automatically started playing a Blue Chew ad, and I can't get it to stop. But I'm taking that as a sign to tell you guys that we are also taking sponsors, and you can email me at kate@ondeckIC or find me on Twitter and DM me if you have an interest in sponsoring any Fightful show, or you can go ahead and DM Sean. But as I'm sitting here looking at 69 viewers here already, got the sex number, got Blue Chew, the show was getting people in a mood tonight. But guys, get in your super chats, get in your Humper chats at humperchats.com so we can talk some ROH before Joel and Cresta come in here to talk about Trinity Fatu's in-ring. I think her in-ring debut tonight, if I remember correctly. Very much looking forward to hearing about that. But we've got a lot to talk about with ROH first, and I'm joined, as always, by Reg. Reg, how are you?
I'm doing great. That number was perfect for a little bit that we had there because this episode was a 69 when it comes to Ring of Honor episodes. A lot of great moments to be, to have that number present. So happy to be here. Happy about this show. Happy about Universal Studios. It's just a different breed of professional wrestling here, and a lot of great developments on this show today.
A lot of really, really great things. I cannot get over what we saw from Zack Sabre Jr. and AR Fox. My goodness. So good. Get in those super chats to talk about it. Also going to remind you before we get underway to go ahead to Fightful Select and subscribe. CM Punk back on his Instagram stories causing chaos. Go read all about it on Fightful Select. But some marquee names that are going to be working on Collision that are not CM Punk. Some more information about Collision over there on Fightful Select, along with a ton of other breaking news and podcasts, including Ask Rhapsody, which was on for a couple hours. This is Reg's double podcast day. That's what's up. So
go watch that. Go check that out. A lot of fun with Philip Lindsay today. We got in a lot of questions. Every week it's fun. Just answering questions just to be able to get on the podcast and interact with the supporters and the people out there. So yeah, subscribe to Fightful Select. A lot of news on Collision. Some creative news just dropped on some people working in creative on Collision. So
hell yeah,
you're gonna want to check that out.
You are, I will say, an ROH legend. That is the only hint that you get. Go find out who it is on FightfulSelect.com. But we've got some ROH legends in the making, baby. We've got some super chats that came in from you guys. A big super chat from Reggie Simmons. Thank you so much, saying ROH is definitely better at Universal Studios. Oh, yes, I agree. It looks like the taping schedule is going to be Wednesday nights, Dynamite and Rampage. Friday nights, Collision. Well, hope you enjoyed it while it lasted.
Because they're doing tapings. They just announced Shibata and Coughlin for the Pure title next week during the Ring of Honor tapings in Las Vegas. So we're already back to taping on the road. Take that however as you may. We're going to enjoy these next couple episodes that were filmed in Universal and hope we ever see it again.
That's right. Let's fingers crossed on that. But Reggie, I agree. Both Reggie, who sent in the super chat, and Reg, who I'm on screen with, definitely better at Universal Studios for sure. Did you ever get called Reggie, and did you like it or hate it?
Oh, I'm Reggie. I'm usually Reggie. Reg is like the new thing. So
okay.
So yeah, when I hear Reggie, I'm usually like, oh yeah, but recent years is Reg, but my whole entire life was Reggie. So when I hear Reggie Simmons, I'm always like, hey, that's me, but that's not me. That's the homie Reggie Simmons. That's always supporting here. We appreciate you, bro.
We do appreciate it. The reason I asked is my full name is Kate. So when people call me Katie, I'm not like annoyed about it, but I'm just like, it's not short for anything when you call me Katie. My full name is Kate.
Gotcha.
Also, Kates and Katies, I can't explain it. Very different vibes.
Way different.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You're like, people feel like you're not a Katie. I'm like, I know. I can't even explain it. Katie's are all sweet and nice. I'm like out here cursing about ROH being
Kate
on the road again. I'm Kate. I got an edge to me. Some more support that came in from you guys. Allison Tuckwop with another nice chat. Thank you so much. Saying, when is this gonna come on wrestling? I like to watch wrestling. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I like to watch wrestling.
I love to watch wrestling. I like to watch the wrestling that we saw tonight. My goodness, there were some great matches on this. Jan Beard saying maybe the Blue Chew is trying to help you get lucky, Kate. Well, not generally one for the ladies. And I don't need help. All right. The fellas at the door constantly. It's just like, it's exhausting.
They're knocking down the door right now. She's like, let's get through this podcast so I can go to opening them at Forbidden Door.
Forbidden doors all over my apartment. My gosh. Orion Ben saying, recruiting hats on. Give me the indie star you want. Brian F. and Keith. Laredo Kid too, since now he's a free agent, is what Luis said.
Took mine, Luis. I was going to say Brian Keith 1000%. I cannot wait until we see Brian Keith on this Ring of Honor show, and I'm going to fight to the death. I'll text Will Washington every single day, 25 times a day, till he tells somebody to put Brian Keith on this show, the captain. I'm going to send emails out to everybody in the company at AEW on Twitter. Brian Keith, that's the one.
You're typing just like first initial last name of anybody in the company at allaelitewrestling.com. I like it. Well, as we all know, Will Washington is the ROH head booker at this point. Definitely not made up. Definitely just driving home, just beating that dead horse into the ground even further. But we have fun here. We have fun here. Recruiting hat on. Man. There's so many out there. There are some people that were in ROH that I want to see back in ROH that aren't like signed there. So that's kind of my first crop, I would say. I'm thinking just like all in the women's division, because that's like always where my head's at. I think like Jody Threat is signed. Who do I want to see? I don't know why I'm putting so much pressure on this question. Jack Cartwheel came to mind for sure.
Yes. I tried to avoid some spoilers, but I saw that potentially here we have some of my West Coast Pro homies, specifically Titus Alexander, might be doing some things over here. And along with that, I'd love to see Sandra Moon get a shot out in Ring of Honor. Yeah. I think she'd be a great addition to the roster.
Agreed. It's so funny because I feel like there's a crop that just got elevated and there's always a new crop coming behind. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a good time. Such a good time to be a wrestling fan. Don't let people mark you into thinking otherwise. Jam Beard saying, Reg, you need to make Will hire Kid Bandit. Okay. They need to be an ROH like right now. Just open up Will's checkbook, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, please. You know what? Hire me.
Because Will has all the power in the world. He can just do whatever he wants. Kid Bandit, you're on your way. No, Kid Bandit is actually a great choice, too. I think they do pretty great in Ring of Honor.
Agreed. There's a lot of great talent out there. It is a deep talent pool. Collision in Jersey in July. That main event was insane. Have a great show. Kate and Reg. Matt Ryan Keel, thank you so much for your chat. Yeah, I've got the alarm set on my phone for Saturday when tickets to go on the market to get those Collision tickets. They are having their US debut, assuming we're going to get Chicago first, but of announced dates. That Jersey date, I'll be there. I'll be at the Prudential Center. So come say hi if you are going to be there too, because Lord knows I will. But let's dive in to some really fun stuff. Very rare. I guess a little bit more, but another like short and sweet way to start off Ring of Honor. I always just feel like we're like right into it within ring action, but we get the formation of the Mac Attack.
Yep.
Willie and Ninja Mac. The Mac Attack is made. Look, I love puns. I don't normally love forming tag teams out of puns. I prefer to have a tag team that exists and you work your way into the pun. That's just how I, as a pun artist, like to go about things. But I think this is a really, really, really fun combination because
Mm-hmm.
what we saw against each other in ring chemistry wise, I think this could be really fun. And I don't know, maybe we'll get our ROH tag team champs back on television. They need someone to fight at some point here, Reg. What do you think of the formation of this tag team?
This one kind of felt inevitable. When we saw the match, people were chanting for this. It just was like, oh, 2Max. Even when they announced the match, it was like, oh, 2Max, that's perfect. That's awesome. We knew that the match was going to be cool. The match was cool. And so for them to form a tag team, which I think is a great idea for both those gentlemen in this position right now, is awesome. 2Max, both great wrestlers. I always want to see Willie Mack exceed in any place that he is. A great tag team wrestler on top of that. And Ninja Mac just didn't even really get into what he really is going to get into. So I think them teaming up together is going to be awesome. Great way to start the show too. Just like a little like, all right, here's the show. Here's a little snippet of last week. And here's some things that are going to move forward.
This is what happens when we're back in the studio, Red. Quick, clean, to the point segments. Wow. Not like the best friends randomly coming out for no reason. We get like good, efficient use of time, but a fun way to start the show for sure, and a fun way to kick off the in-ring action was Rey Fenix, who's back with Alex Abrahantes at ringside, of course, versus Gringo Loco and a banger of a match to kick us off. This was a ton of fun. That at some point there was like a double springboard Hurricane Rana. So like just absolutely insane. This was everything that I wanted it to be. And I know this type of wrestling holds a special place in your heart. So I'm going to throw it over to you. Kicking off the night with Spot Fu. What did you think of this?
Supreme Spot Fu, as they say. This is the definition of Spot Fu. Spot Fu was created off of matches and people like this. Rey Fenix has been injured or out or somewhere, but he's been watching the Vikingo matches. He's been watching the Commander matches. He's been at home being like, all right, I see what you guys are doing. I see what's going on here. But AEW already has an insane luchador. And starting with that Claudio match we saw, and then into this match right here with Gringo Loco, the base god, these guys were going insane. Fenix was hitting some insane Hurricane Ranas. Loco was on display, hitting his reverse angle slams, hitting that press slam into the X Factor that I really love. Being the base god that he can, Fenix is just like so dynamic, and the things that he could do in the ring seem unmatched until you see Vikingo and Commander. It's just like we have a wealth of these amazing luchadors, and it's just so great that we get to see them at full capacity. This is 100% Rey Fenix right here with somebody who can catch and somebody that can keep up. And Gringo Loco has been on display the last couple of weeks here. It feels like Ring of Honor is kind of becoming, his show, and some, when he has a match announced, it's going to hit. And this one just was beautiful. I was just watching just like a little kid, like, yes, flips, oh, slams, oh yeah, everything. I loved it. So good.
I really liked it too. Rey Fenix, I just feel like every time he's in the ring, it's a match of the year contender. Like
easy.
In a very different way. I feel like Rush is getting that way where you're just like, God, everything this guy does is next level. I felt like before he got injured and was doing some singles matches when Pentagon was out, but it was like Rey versus Kenny Omega, because why wouldn't we? Like those matches, I just kept being like, man, this guy's incredible. I also really liked in this match, I felt like we got a ton of, like you said, Gringo Loco being like a great base in this. But one thing Rey Fenix is incredible at to me is nothing really feels superfluous or over the top, like extreme athleticism, but also a nice blend of logic for people who can't get into flippy do BS. I can get into some flippy do fun stuff, but I feel like it does help when everything feels like it still kind of has an intention behind it. So one of his greatest attributes and one of the most versatile people in this style in the world, like Claudio, Gringo Loco, whoever you throw him in there with, looking great. So a fun way to start off the night, and kind of a surprising one, because this is another sign that they're back at the studio, because I feel like this is that match
at the studio
where my heart is. It's like the only thing probably that I want to go to Florida for because I like having rights. But I will say, like, this is the match I feel like that gets put on for the 7 people that are left to try and keep them awake when they're on the road. Here, we can start off the episode with it and hope that something awesome enough is going to be there on the back end. This episode, you've got Zack Sabre Jr. and AR Fox still to go. So a really fun way to start off the in-ring in this episode for sure. My only thing is, isn't he like one half the tag team champions? And he's
why does every time one of these brothers show up, the other one's just lost? He's just somewhere in another universe. Like, these guys are not together. They're brothers. Like, what's going on here? We want to see these tag team championships defended, but it has been announced. They did announce on Dynamite that the Ring of Honor tag team championships will be defended against Claudio, the partner of his choosing. So we're going to see him over there, just not over here on the show that they represent. But,
just like, why does Claudio have 6 storylines as the ROH champion? But the problem is, every time he's in the ring, I'm like, that guy rules. Put him in every match. I don't care.
Somebody else come and challenge him.
Yeah, exactly. Right now. But I will say too, I'm a little more mindful because there's some things that I was like, oh, I wish I got a little more time, but I am more mindful that we were doing batch tapings again, right? Yeah. So he might have wrestled 6 matches in 2 days, and so if one of them is not a tag team match, I kind of can't complain about that. True. But I will, because I'm just gonna gripe here. But
not Katie.
That's right. I'm Kate. A Katie would be like, everything is perfect. It's so true, though. I don't know why, but Kates and Katies are opposite sides of the same name. RH saying, I haven't had a chance to watch ROH tonight yet, but I wanted to let you 2 know how much I enjoy you cats on the post show. You folks do great work.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. It is like being on a field trip, getting to host alongside Reg and getting to talk about this product. Like about 5 minutes before I tried to go on air, before I started playing Blue Chew ads out of my control, I was like, I'm getting paid to talk about Zack Sabre Jr. and AR Fox. Wow. Don't tell Sean, but like, I would just be talking to my dog in my apartment about this.
Totally. I would be talking out loud about it for sure. Like in some way, just been like, man, did you see AR Fox? Like to my walls.
Calling other people's grandparents to talk about this match. Like, but there you go. So we move along to Willow Nightingale versus Maddie Rankowski in a quick match. But I think the real headliner here is, I'm pretty sure Reg bullied Ian Riccaboni out of rapping. I think that's what happened.
Listen, he knows when an announcer knows when to just let it breathe and back away. He learned. He tried it. He did this, a couple weeks worth of raps, and it just was not hidden for me at all. I understand why it was happening. I understand what's going on. He just let Caprice handle it. And Caprice handled it, and we got on moving. So respect to you, Ian. That's why you're such a great commentator, and that's why we put you over all the time, because you see those cues. You see the cue, you take it. That's what a great announcer does. That's why you are who you are. And I hope you get the collision job. Give it to Ian, because look, he does things like this.
You're so funny. I think this is a symptom of the tapings being in a group. I think you're going to get an 8-minute freestyle through Willow's match next week. And you're going to love it, Red. You're going to love
it. Relax, please.
Look, out of the 2 of us, I know hip hop. All right, clearly.
I mean, the facts are the facts.
You know, like the bare naked ladies, the Little Wing song,
I gotta go. Yeah. Nice knowing you, Ring of Honor. That was a fun show, you guys. Tune in to Impact.
Yeah, right. You're like, Joel, calling you in from the bullpen, buddy.
Coming in early.
Well, you know who else didn't last more than 20 minutes? That's not a Blue Chew segue, but that is a comment on how quick this match with Willow and Maddie Rankowski was.
Yep.
We got look, we're not gonna have Athena on, you gotta have Willow on. It's just you get the baddest bitch or you get the happiest one. That's it. That's where we go. So we get the best hits here. It's a short match, but we get the pounds, we get the straps coming down, we get a Willow Nightingale win. This is another one where we've talked about this ad nauseum, so I don't want to circle on it too much, but it does feel like Willow was kind of earmarked for ROH, and now she's in like some I would say like a mainstay for sure on the AEW roster. So I am intrigued to see where she ends up. But you know what? You got people out there for like 10 hours watching tapings. You throw Willow Nightingale in a squash, the crowd's gonna be happy. Always love seeing her on my screen, and glad to see Maddie Rankowski get some reps too. She's been one of those top level women's indie names for a little bit now. We've seen her on Dark a few times. Happy to see her here, even though this was a quick match. Any thoughts on this?
I don't know. I'm glad we seeing Willow, but if we're just gonna continue to see this squash and not really much development, like we know Willow's happy to be here, but like we don't want it to be like an actual her character here. It's like, oh, she's just happy to be here. She's just gonna beat this person up in 30 seconds, and then we're gonna be out of here. Especially from going from the momentum that she had into that amazing Athena match, and then to kind of be like it's not her fault that you guys got her on 2 shows and you're gonna have her, kind of wading in the water on one of them because you don't want to affect what's going on the other show. I don't know. Get it together though. I want to see. That's it. I want to see Willow in some big matches. There's a lot of great talent on the Ring of Honor roster. Put her in those matches. I don't want to see her just squashing people. I do love to see her being powerful and on display, but like we see how she does on the other side when she's playing defense and being one of the most charismatic, heartfelt wrestlers that we know.
Agreed. And as you know, as most people watching this know, I am a whiner in a good way. I'm a Kate, not a Katie about women's wrestling and screen time. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with Collision because there is more breathing room.
More time.
I'm wondering if I'm hoping this puts Jade Cargill back on a track where she's heavily featured. I'm wondering if there's room for a women's tag division so that we can see the Penelope Fords and the Bunnies and the Tay Contis of the world kind of back in the mix. Anna Jay certainly falls into that category. And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, who is on your ROH women's roster? Because if those people kind of bump up to Collision and it's a little bit more rounded out, then you are leaning on your Trisha Doras, probably your Miranda Alize, who we saw tonight, the Lady Frosts of the world, which I think is a good thing. The more that we can build up, the better, right? So any thoughts about that? Do you think, soon enough we're going to be saying, this is Trisha Dora's program? Or
we kind of talked about it a little bit on Ask Rhapsody. It was great because people were asking about more shows and more women's segments, which is we're hoping that that'll mean more secondary feuds for the women wrestlers. And, but the main thing we wanted is for them to really build the AEW World Women's and the TBS Championship because they've kind of fallen by the wayside. Like you said, Jade was kind of on a trajectory and she's kind of like, I don't know where she's at this position. And the AEW's Women's Championship after Thunder and Tony Storm and what Jamie was doing in the beginning was like a super hot title. And now it's just like, okay, it's also there too. They got to build both of those back up. But I think they have a lot of pieces to bring it to a great place. And if they use Collision to, bring in this new crop of people and maybe have one of the titles be a mainstay over there, and then you have in all these different challengers over here, I think the women's division could really benefit from this. They need to benefit from this. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Like more time, more women's matches. As we see on this Ring of Honor program, we got 3 women's matches and they were all super cool, besides the squash one. But we got to see 3 different styles of women's matches, and we need to be seeing 5 or 6 of these a week if we have all this time.
Agreed. And as much as I like to complain about it, I don't like to complain about it. I like it when we're seeing effort. And I will say, there's been a tremendous amount of growth in the past year. I feel like we're seeing so many more women involved in what feels like it's leading to a blood and guts feud. The rotation of talent has been a lot better. More screen time would be another step forward in that way. And I would love to be able to see that so that this kind of next grouping of women could get the ROH strongholds. I think that could be really, really productive. And it's so, for me, it's so much fun because I say all the time, like I started watching in 2009, so until AJ Mendez came along, it was really just like, I'm gonna pull your fake hair. No, I'm gonna pull your fake hair for a really long time.
Crazy.
Yeah. And that was like, there was a brief window, and then the 4 Horsewomen came. And so like, I didn't even know what independent wrestling was at that point. And so now to be seeing like, oh my gosh, this abundance of women's talent is so awesome. So I hope we get to see that all get elevated. It's one of the most rewarding parts of watching ROH, I think.
Facts.
Ronald Hollick talking some lucha over here, which I love, saying with the incredible amount of lucha inspired talent added to ROH and AEW, who do you see being the first lucha talent to get crowned world champion? Interesting. Our moderator Luis has some guesses, throwing out Andrade and Bandito and Vikingo, and he said, I don't know, maybe it's just Jeff Jarrett in a mask.
No, I think you said it. We just talked about it. You said his name earlier in this show. It's Roosh. If you give Roosh the opportunity to continue to do what he's been doing, and I think that one of the draws right now is he doesn't give a shit about winning, and that's kind of the best part. Is he's just like, I'm out here to beat somebody up. I want to whip somebody. I want to chop somebody, and I want to destroy them. But then if he gets into that mode of wanting to be a world champion like he's been before. As a heel, there's not a finer heel luchador, I think, in the world than Roosh. So that's my pick.
He's just this little wrecking ball every time he's in the ring.
So angry.
So angry. I need like a 6-month feud with him and Orange Cassidy, just like the wrestler who doesn't care versus the most intense guy in the whole world would pop me tremendously. But I like that as a call, like a Roosh world title run is a really, really fun possibility. Some more love for the ladies coming in. Jam Beard saying, now I really want to see Willow and Abaddon team up. It's kind of a fun little contrast. I could see Abaddon returning from injury and back in action, which is great.
Abaddon.
Yeah, I need to now that the Darks are gone, they're gonna have to find more places for some of these talents that were kind of perennially on there.
Right.
And Jam Beard saying, for AEW tag teams, you have the Outcasts, Britt and Jamie, TJ and Bunny, Penelope Ford and Nyla, Shafir and Sky, or I'm sorry, Nyla and Shafir, Sky and Rain, maybe also the Renegade Twins, team up Willow with Abaddon. That's already 8 teams. Man, you really only need, I mean, in WWE, they think you only need 2, but I feel like you can make a pretty solid division with 6. I think there's a lot of fun to be had for some people that aren't back yet. I think part of the Jade holdup, I feel like, is that maybe we've gone through so much of the roster and we're waiting for Chris Statlander to come back and the timing's not matching up. It's taking her out of the picture. I don't know what's going on with Serena D, but you pair her with just about anybody and I'm in. Layla Hirsch, of course, also waiting in the wings. So there's a lot of fun possibilities with both the singles and the tag divisions here. Any pairings that are kicking around in your head that might be fun?
Sky and Rain together sounded funny because I never thought about that when they would team up on this show. Sky and Rain. That's very, very hilarious. I want to know where Red Velvet is. I have a lot of interest in the people that you said, even though it's like, people have been putting Chris Statlander as the one to beat Jade for like a year now. I'm like, do you guys even know her timetable of returning? Do you know anything? Like, this could be another year. I don't know what's going on here. How's everybody so super set on it? But I am interested to see what she does. Abaddon is super interesting. I hadn't even thought about her in a long time. I think she could play a good role put in here with somebody. But yeah, I'd like to see Kiera and Diamante team up. I want to see Diamante and maybe Diamante and Mercedes Martinez, who we see later here in the show, together could team up. Like,
that's the duo.
The
newly signed Diamante. I'm very excited about that. I'm with you. They got to find some TV time for Kiera Hogan, man, because that woman is a star. She's sitting right there for you. But thank you so much for all the support that we're getting tonight. A lot of chats coming in. We appreciate it. Matthew Hooks saying, who do you see leaving ROH with Collision coming? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably all the champions.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, totally. I could see. I think this might be Athena's time. It might be time to finally move her up there, get her established on the national TV brand, and because she has to take this to some more eyes. And I think this is a great way to introduce her, get her into either title picture, and be on the way out.
Agreed. I think that's a really good call and a nice nod to what her championship reign has been like. Extremely fundamental in establishing ROH. Time to move this badass heel on up. I think it could be a lot of fun. I'm with you. I think you see Samoa Joe go there, assuming that CM Punk is still with the company.
Yep.
More on FightfulSelect.com about who that feud might be. Trying to think of ROH. I mean,
Joe's on the poster, so that's might be a giveaway.
That's indicative for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think, now that it's like Darius and Action Andretti, I don't know, but I would have said they would be 2 to go over. I think you're going to see more things, not so much like ROH being pulled over, but I think you're going to see, like, I'm hoping Ethan Page get a push or things like that.
Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, Scorpio Sky. I think maybe some people that were bouncing between brands a little bit, you might see just a little bit more firmly committed over there, but
we could potentially see your guy Eddie Kingston over there on Collision too, potentially. I think so.
They owe me another round of CM Punk and Eddie Kingston.
I'm saying.
I would very much like that. I hope he is feeling better from his injury because he's my dude. I love that guy. Some more love for the ladies. Champion saying, also, if AEW does go with women tag teams, I could see them going after a team like the Hex. That's a great call. Also, maybe Kiera Hogan with either Red Velvet or Diamante.
Yeah. We haven't said the Renegade Twins, who haven't been a tag team together, but them, of course.
I sincerely love how commentary was like, it's twin magic, even though they don't look alike. Like, them leading into that, I thought was really fun. You know what else is fun? The Iron Savages and the Wingmen. Sometimes ROH does stuff and they're like, I got you, Kate. And I love Peter Avalon, and I like Ryan Nemeth quite a bit too. And I love the Iron Savages. I've been singing their praises for a long time. Peter Avalon telling the Savages, did you already forget your names? When they were doing their chant was super, super fun here. As Luis points out, I agree. This was a glorified squash, but what I liked here was we got to see a lot more personality from the Iron Savages. I loved, I think it was Bear Boulder pushing Peter Avalon into the air for his kickouts. Just fun. And you also got to see some in-ring here that I really liked. Boulder with that moonsault was just like fantastic stuff. I know a few people that have had a chance to work with them on the indies and say that like working the Iron Savages is just easy and a dream to work with those guys. Fun here. Looks like they might be getting established in ROH. Any thoughts on this match?
I love seeing more great tag teams get established here. The Iron Savages have been one of those tag teams. I was thinking about this, like this kind of a Kate episode, because later in the episode we got the Workhorsemen too. I'm like, okay, I see they're catering to Kate over here. I see what's going on here.
Catering, yeah.
But yeah, to add on some more great tag teams like this, and I think having the Peter and Ryan Nemeth added on here too. There can always be a tag team that could be inserted in any of AEW's places and have a good run. I think Ring of Honor would be a really good place for them too. Whenever we get this tag team division fully kicked off, whatever these tag team championships are happening, what's going on here, get more emphasis on that. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I like to see the Iron Savages have like this just brawling, big meaty men slapping meat style that is a great translation and something they need more hosses. I say all the time, this is just 2 big hosses right here.
Yeah, you're like you have said multiple times, get some ugly people in here. Enough
Come
with the
on,
pretty boys.
Yes,
some uggos, we like it. Gritty, dirty guys. Get me more of this. Super fun here. And also good because it does feel like, even though we don't have the roster clarity that we've been wanting, it certainly feels like the Iron Savages are being built up to feel important, even if it's not like an immediate title shot. We're starting to see who some mainstays might be around here. Well, one guy who's been a mainstay for a long time is Christopher Daniels, as has Matt Sydal. They defeat Zach, Clayton, and Cole Karter here. One thing that I've appreciated in commentary, always phenomenal, love having Nigel there, but they
Mhm.
really have gone out of their way to remind you how important Christopher Daniels has been
Yes.
to the wrestling industry and especially to ROH. Like, it's nice to see him get his flowers here, and I really appreciate, you know, he's not the youngest guy in the company.
Mm-mm.
For them to go out of their way to remind us that he is a legend here because he wasn't necessarily like the most prominently featured guy in AEW is something I just really, really like. They make him feel incredibly important here. This was a perfectly fine match. Zach Clayton and Cole Karter, I think this is the role that they'll be playing at least for a little bit together in a tag team or separately. But Christopher Daniels and Sydal being put together has been a surprisingly refreshing change of pace for both of them, I think. Any thoughts on this?
Zach Clayton and Cole Karter, they have just 5 guys, and New Japan, this is just 2 guys. They're just they just exist. Like, they're just there. Just 2 guys. That's it. Like, I don't care if they win or lose. Like, as I said before, Cole Carter's fake ass Austin Theory. So I don't really, it's just but seeing Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal, which goes into an angle that they set up later here in the show, is cool. I like seeing Christopher Daniels on the show. At this point, he's gonna be able to be a veteran and help all these wrestlers. So having him as a tag team wrestler is gonna help, I think, even more than him just being a singles wrestler, because he's such a great tag team wrestler, and to see him in any tag team match, it's just gonna help everybody out. So yeah, this is it. I like that AEW as a whole, when they have like a tag team centered main event, they focus the majority of the show on tag team wrestling or tag team style wrestling, and that's what they did here in this ROH show, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, this is a great use of everybody involved here, right? I think Christopher Daniels and Sydal are there to make younger talent like Cole Karter, who, well, I don't necessarily disagree with what you said. I will say he's got a lot of time to learn and grow. He's a younger talent. He is far from reaching his ceiling. So working with people this experience is only going to benefit him at this point in the game.
Right.
I think Zach Clayton has kind of a hybrid role where he's helping on the marketing side a little bit. So I agree with you. And this was like kind of exactly what it should have been if you were going to go out of your way to do this. So I will take it. But one match that I wish had a little bit more time. But again, this was where I was kind of like, Kate, slow your roll. Like, they had 9 million matches in 2 days. Yes. But Lady Frost with Miranda Alize, I want to see more of. I really liked what we got out of this. Jam Beard saying also, now that she has had the baby, technically the Iconics might be available, going back to our tag talk. That is a fun pull, and their personalities could be very fun in what feels like such a grounded wrestling product in general, especially women's division. But Lady Frost and Miranda Alize, something is just clicking on a different level with Lady Frost. She gets the win here with the, what was it, corkscrew moonsault, I believe. Miranda Alize is a really fun dance partner. Like, she always does something personality wise to make her opponent look really good. With the code of honor, she like shook hands but wasn't happy about it. Lady Frost has just found a rhythm between hitting hard and all of her acrobatic prowess, and there's like a happy medium, which on the indies she's introduced as the queen of murder gymnastics, and that's kind of what we got here, and I am loving it. I think she's really settled into her sweet spot. I love to see when people have kind of found that bliss point in their styles. Also a little less telegraphing, not that it was terrible before with her, but it feels like it's just all so fluid with her right now. So happy to see this. Any thoughts on this match and these two ladies in general?
Yeah, Lady Frost is a great example of what like the spirit of ROH is. It's kind of like they probably weren't expecting to have like a good, like they knew Lady Frost was good, but then like they saw her, what she did with Athena, and they saw how she could work. And it's kind of like those like, oh, damn, we have something on our hands better than what we even expected. I mean, she's a tremendous talent, but like it seems like she's clicked into another level. And every time that she has a showing on Ring of Honor, it's been great. I saw her I was at the Queen of Indie show. Shout out to my homies at West Coast Pro Wrestling Revolution. I was at the Queen of Indie show. Tremendous show. All the women destroyed it. But Lady Frost was there, and to see her in person and to see this finish that she did in person, phenomenal. She is an awesome, talented person. I think the Ring of Honor women's division is going to be a lot better with her getting her shit off like this. Like, this is awesome. And Miranda Alize is going to be continuously getting better. One of those people that is going to continue to grow, and we're going to see it firsthand, but she's going to be a great dance partner for everybody here in this division. But Lady Frost is just a great addition to having contenders for the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She's always going to be a contender, and she's building her stock with it every week.
Agreed. I think they had done a good job on commentary here too, mentioning that Lady Frost was the proving ground opponent who has lasted the longest with Athena too, which I think just subtle things like that make you feel like she's really important. I love that. And I like this idea too. Why not open this door a little bit with Emi Sakura and Mesa Ruga as tag team faves? I think there's a lot of possibilities here. The ones that aren't even like necessarily top of my head. Sawyer Wreck was whose name I was trying to think of before.
Sawyer Wreck, yes.
Let's get her in ROH. Let's get her versus Athena, please.
Yes, Sawyer
Wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Some more love, Maxie Impaler and Heidi. That's a really good call as well. I miss Max being around. They're doing some great work in Japan. So I think Max might come back. We move along to a match that kind of surprised me with the booking here. Angelico and Serpentico defeating the Shinobi Shadow Squad of Cheeseburger, who I adore, and Eli Isom, who I also love. A really fun duo. I don't know why, but when I was watching this match, I was like, I need to see Cheeseburger versus Lio Rush at some point. That match has got to happen. Cheeseburger, pun extremely intended, because I intend my puns because I'm not a coward. All the like flavors of different styles of wrestling that he has always show up, no matter how like long or short the match is.
Tomato, cheese,
oh my god, you throw a little
cheese
on it. 100% a little barbecue sauce. Let's go. I love it. But you can see just in the way that he moves, there's always some influence that you kind of see peeking out. I really, really liked it. I was surprised that this went the way it did, though. We see the Spanish Announce Project, who still can't get over the SAT thing, walk away with the win here. It's and I got to see Luther celebrate, which is always fun. He is extremely silly for someone who was like Japanese deathmatch Hannibal Lecter at one point in his career. Did this surprise you as much as it surprised me?
It sure did, because the Spanish and those guys, Angelico and Serpentico, have been the I don't want to say the jobber tag team, but they've been the enhancement team. They've been the guys to make the other guys look great. So yeah, it was kind of a surprise to see them get the victory here. It was great to see Cheeseburger and Eli here on the show, because they are ROH. They've been in ROH for a long time. They represent the spirit of ROH too. So, and I love commentary, letting people know where they've been, because they've been doing a lot. They've been in Mexico, they've been in Germany, they've been kind of all over the world getting their styles together. And so to see it on display here was great. But yeah, I didn't really expect the SAP to get the victory, but they did.
You say it exactly how I think it in my head. So I appreciate that. But we'll move on to what I thought was the hands down, not match even close, match of the night, match of my life. Doesn't matter what kind of day I'm having, week I'm having, month I'm having, lifetime I'm having. All I need is little Zack Sabre Jr. calling someone a dickhead on my screen. This was for the New Japan World Television Championship, which is under time constraint. So a fun stipulation in the world. You got one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, if not the best technical wrestler in the world, versus one of the best high flyers, if not the best high flyer in the world. Magic. Just magic. A super creative ending. Everything you would want out of Zack Sabre Jr. Anything that you would ever want out of AR Fox. This match effing rules. I found out I'm supposed to swear less on this program. It's really hard for me not to swear because this is like, I want to swear a lot about how great this match was. I'm swearing on the inside. All my inside curse words, Danhausen can't hear them, but man, oh man, go out of your way to watch this match if you didn't see it. Yes. Reg, what did you think here?
This was beautiful wrestling. I love when wrestlers like AR Fox, who are known for taking to the skies, high energy, he's all over the ring, he connects his moves together, he does all these different things. But then when you're in the ring with somebody like Zack Sabre Jr., who many, most 9 out of 10 consider to be the best technical wrestler in the whole world, you're going to be wrestling his match. And so for AR to get locked into his match, but not get totally drowned being in there with the best technical wrestler and adding his own style to it was so awesome. But then on top of that, when he did get his spots in, when he did do the big suicide dive and the big tope con hilo, it was just like so perfect. And Zack Sabre Jr. is just like such a great professional wrestler. The way that he puts together a match, the way that he uses the time limit as the kind of driving force behind the match is second to none, man. Like seeing this guy do his thing and knowing that one day him and Bryan Danielson will lock it up. That's what every Zack Sabre Jr. match is like. We're just like one step closer. Anytime he's on AEW TV, Ring of Honor TV, any TV, we're like, one day we're going to get that match. And here on display, though. But yeah, just like you said, go out of your way to see this match. The best of both of these guys. You want to see Zack Sabre Jr. on display. You want to see the best of AR Fox. This match right here.
It's so funny because he's obviously a high flyer, but I don't even consider AR Fox a high flyer because he's so well-rounded in his wrestling skill set. And Zack Sabre Jr., I said on Twitter, he's just one of the most complete wrestlers I've ever seen. Like extremely technical, but people I think automatically equate technical with boring. He is not. He is full of story, full of life. The way he'll lazily throw out kicks, his banger of a theme. He's so good. This was super fun. There were also stakes involved. Whoever won this match gets to go on to Dominion, right? So that was great. And then after, they give me something I need, and then they took it away, but I think we're still going to get it eventually. Samoa Joe comes out and talks his ass about how he's the best television champion in the world, not Zack Sabre Jr. And I said, oh my God, this is a Kate episode.
Told you. Try to told you.
But we did set up what looks like we're going to get a tag match. I'm sure in this series of tapings, we're getting Zack Sabre Jr. and Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal, which is a really fun nod to all of ROH's history, I think. Looking forward to that, but we want to get to that game of Samoa Joe versus Zack Sabre Jr., right? That's what we're looking for here.
Nice tease, you guys. I like that tag team match is going to be great, and it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be fun. But we know what's going on here. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Samoa Joe, TV title versus TV title. It's a fight. We all celebrate and cry ourselves to sleep. Come on. That's what we want.
That's it. That's all I want to see is those two beating the crap out of each other. Jam Beard saying, I got to say the New Japan Pro Wrestling title that Zack has is so fugly. It's almost as bad as the 24/7 title. Buddy, it's worse. It looks like a watch.
Yeah, it's ugly. But, you know, on Zack Sabre Jr., it looks, now I was going to say it looks cool, but that's a lie. That belt sucks. But I get what they're going for.
I get, they got a lot of belts in New Japan, all right? They're not all going to be winners. You gotta settle in. But coming down the home stretch, guys, get in those super chats and humper chats. If there's anything else you want to talk about in the rest of this episode, we're going to turn it over to Joel, Pearl, and the wonderful Cresta Star right after this. Man, a really fun episode tonight. I'm going to lock them into the studio. They're never allowed to go on the road again, but we move along to the Gates of Agony versus Dalton Castle and Brandon Tate because other boy was in the hospital due to the actions of Gates of Agony. Shea Monster saying, hello, Kate. Hello, you clam digger, Reg. So Gates of Agony are my tag team right now. Well, the thing is they're technically a trio, but Modern Faces of Fear need to see them against the Lucha Bros soon. This has been fun. And Dalton Castle's such a great storyteller that this was a really nice balance of what Dalton Castle is best at. Well, Gates of Agony, both of them looked like ass kicking, brutal dudes that they are. Kind of just quiet machines that take these guys out. But Dalton Castle, of course, making himself the hot tag. Really fun tandem offense with Brandon Boy and not Brent Boy. What were your thoughts about this?
I like the storytelling of Dalton Castle. I thought he played a great role here. I thought he showed that he is versatile in what he does, not just comedy wrestler. He can add on a kind of drama element to the whole thing to make make this whole little angle that they're working with works out pretty well. But the Gates of Agony, just like Shane Monster said, they're just the new faces of fear. They're just destroying guys, punching them down, throwing them to each other, they throw in the air and Samoan drop. It's just they're just manhandling anybody in their way. But again, they are the trios champions. Just put those belts up. That's it. We just want to see you defend them titles as a trio. We love seeing you as a duo. Love the thing that's going on with the Mogul Embassy. That's just phenomenal. So keep it all up.
Wins all around with that. Guys, right now the chat is in subscribers only mode to keep some of the dorks away. And Jeremy Lambert did that for us. And he said, because he did that, I have to say something nice about him. And I will just say, much like Fast and Furious, Jeremy is like family. And you should watch him and Joel Pearl on In the Weeds as your morning wrestling show. Joel Pearl, who is going to be on shortly after we make it down the home stretch. We're delayed getting on because StreamYard just keeps automatically playing Blue Chew ads. Chaos tonight. But some really, really fun wrestling that came through was the Workhorseman and Shane Taylor versus Schaff, Ricky Gibson, and Eddie Pearl. I'm not familiar. But a fun match here. The Workhorseman and Shane Taylor, not a combination I was optimistic about, but they definitely operate from the same world of kicking ass. JD Drake, as you said, like one of my favorites. Love seeing Anthony Henry here. This is a great way to establish who we're kind of getting as another establishing stronghold on the show, though I believe Shane Taylor got injured in the set of tapings, which is a bummer. Like what I saw tonight, though, I love me some JD Drake. He feels like he's walking out of a different era. Such a blast. Thoughts on this match?
I don't really get the pairing. Like, what happened to Shane Taylor's crew, the Shane Taylor Promotions? Like, if you're gonna put him in the trios, just put him in the trios with the guys that we know already. I know things are kind of split apart. Kaun's over here with Gates of Agony. The other members aren't present in Ring of Honor, but bring them. Let's do this. Let's bring this tag team together. I thought it was super weird that they paired them together last week. Whenever they were teasing this whole thing, they're like, "Oh, Shane Taylor likes how these guys get down," but it's like, I don't know. I'm not really seeing it. You're trying to set up more contenders for the Trios Championships. Get the damn Trios Championships defended. I don't know. It seems pretty simple, but yeah, this is just kind of like another squash. Not mad at it. I think Schaff and those guys are from out here and on the West Coast. I think they do stuff with Defy Wrestling. Shout out to Defy Wrestling.
Hell yeah. Good work at Defy Wrestling. Very happy to see them thriving. I get it from a stylistic standpoint. I think it's just hard because Shane Taylor Promotions was like coming out with a For the Culture flag and stuff to go to like these 80s Southern brawly feeling dudes is a weird flip. So
it's a change.
Yeah, I think stylistically it definitely works, but I think from where people like you and I picked up with where Ring of Honor was into this, it does feel weird. I'm also wondering if there was going to be a story out of that, but we might have to wait to find out as Shane Taylor is injured. But we got a chat from Dobby the Brain Heathen here saying, speaking of the studio tapings, anyone else worried about the reported setup that they'll be taping ROH after Collision every week? Yes! Yes, I am.
Very worried.
We are concerned.
Concerned, that's a word. Yeah, I don't, you know how, I'm hoping that since it's Saturday night, like, a lot of people go to wrestling shows on Saturday night. That for a lot of people is the wrestling night. I'm hoping that it's like they out the gate, we're kind of knowing that Ring of Honor is going to be a part of this. So I just want them to say, listen, this is also going to be a Ring of Honor taping on top of this, and not just when you get there, like, oh, stay after Collision. We'll have all the big Ring of Honor stars like they do now. Not going to work. Let these people know what show they're going to watch. Antonio Khan.
Yeah, no, I agree, because the advantage that they do have, right, is it is a Saturday. It's not a work night when people are trying to get home. So that I think is definitely working in their favor. I don't want it to get too cloudy because I don't want to be out there just
funny guy,
feeling,
Kaun.
Like
Funny guy.
Tony Khan.
For me, just like my Will Washington joke, sorry, you are stuck with it. But one thing that I'm excited about is the Righteous and Stu Grayson segment.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked a little bit about how, give Dark Order a storyline that's not about someone leaving the group challenge, but this is working for me because the Righteous are great. Like Vincent and Dutch are such a good duo, and I like that Stu Grayson just kind of wants to be his own man in this.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on this quick little vignette that we got here?
I like the story that they told here. I like the end where Stu's like, I'll give you guys one chance. And the Dark Order tried to come in and be like, hey, I know what you guys are doing. Evil Luna was like, look, this is my tag team partner. I'm not going to let you guys do this. But Stu's like, I'm tired of everybody talking about me when I'm right here. Y'all abandoned me still. I haven't forgot. And I might, hear these guys out. A cool little segment I like because we're in the studio that we get these little things that progress the story and move it forward. This is a great way to do it with 45 seconds or whatever they used.
Agreed. And shouting out this. There was a slow dancing in a burning room, which is from John Maya's circle 15 years ago. So good on Dutch for knowing his John Mayer.
And Dutch with that tongue thing is just creepy.
He's creepy, and he's good at the creepy thing. But moving along to our third women's match of the night, Mercedes Martinez is back, and she beats the hell out of Ashley D'Amboise. Chris Mueller saying Mercedes needs to teach Dom how to do the three amigos. Yeah. Buddy, somebody does, because they are I call them the three acquaintances because they're so bad. But we're gonna zip through this because there's not a ton to say about it. We are running late, but thoughts on Mercedes Martinez beating the crap out of Ashley D'Amboise and also just on having her back.
That was the best part of this, is having Mercedes Martinez back. We've talked for many, many, many weeks how we need her back in this division. She's going to be another element for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. She's going to be another person for all these young women that are coming up in Ring of Honor that are fresh off the indies, that get to be in there with an experienced veteran. Just a tremendous talent. It was just great to see her back. I hope she's doing well. I know she was out with the injury. Hopefully she's fully healed and ready to kick some ass every week, because that was great.
Agreed. And the story is right there, and commentary as usual doing a great job pointing out that Mercedes is the one that Athena beat for this title. So maybe there is a return shot down the line. Jam Beard saying can't wait for Triple J and Satnam to become either the ROH tag or ROH Trios champs, because then Reg and Kate are forced to talk about them.
Tripping.
Look, you're going to send in money. I'll read whatever chats you want, but I will just, I don't know. I'll moon the camera for that entire segment. I don't know. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
Get that out of here.
Yeah.
We're getting that disgusting suggestion out of here. We are going to our main events. Darius Martin and Action Andretti, not Top Flight, defeating the Kingdom in what was another surprising booking decision, but not one that I hate. Kind of ready for this feud-ish thing to be over.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on from this, but we saw Ray Fenix back. Hopefully we're getting some clarity with the tag division. This is something we can move on from. It would have been cool if it was actual Top Flight, but it's Darius and guy that kind of looks like Darius or Dante Martin and has kind of similar moveset, who should probably be fighting with Jericho. Perfectly suitable match, though. I don't have any complaints about it. I was a little bit surprised at the booking, but the Kingdom don't really need this win, and I do think that Darius and Action Andretti have something to be gained here, Reg.
I thought it was interesting because the Kingdom has been telling this story on these promos for the last 6 weeks or something. Every time they've talked, they've been like, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best. I thought it was an interesting victory. I thought that the Kingdom would get the victory here, but they didn't. So shout out to Darius and Action Andretti. I thought the match was cool. There was a lot of super dope elements in here. They used some tables. Mike Bennett was bleeding. There was some very dangerous chair spots all throughout this. They did some very cool and innovative, dangerous spots. If you like blunder, if you like tables, if you like some high flying hardcore action, this was a really cool way to end the show. I'm not mad at it.
I like moving on from feuds quickly enough that they don't feel overly fatigued. So I like the fact that this felt like a blow off, because it means we're probably not running it back if you are getting those stipulations. But one thing that we run back every week, Reg, is us bringing on our fellow stream crew here. We've got Cresta and we've got Joel Pearl, who have been patiently waiting. We have a lot more to talk about when these episodes run 2 hours. And also, for 2 weeks in a row, I don't know how to tell you guys, every time I've entered the StreamYard studio, it's just randomly started playing Blue Chew ads. I don't know why. This is the most entertaining Joel's ever been. So this is fine. This is actually exactly what you want.
Just like Joel. They want you to be up.
No, that's all right. This is perfect. Joel can be. Oh, damn it.
Oh, there he is.
Why is
Grandpa, wake up.
Why are you fancy, Joel?
Say his name and he appears.
It's a year. It's a year being
It's our anniversary.
It's our anniversary.
Yeah. Starting late.
You've got your fancy facial hair for today. I love it.
I bearded it like Jonathan Gresham. I wanted to be an octopus.
Well, you look beautiful. Happy year anniversary. We are so lucky to have you. I'm so excited to see what you bring to the Collision post show, which we'll be starting with you and Rick and Iridian. I can't wait, but congratulations. It's a year better to have you here, Cresta, and also Joel is here as well. So that is
wow. I'm so happy Joel's my partner. Joel's been a mentor. He's an educator, a mentor.
Okay.
Easy. We believe in Joe Hendry, not Joel Pearl here.
I believe in Joel Pearl. Joel Hendry.
None of my other co-hosts do.
I know. We have so much fun on Sundays, Joel, but the most fun that we had tonight was, for me, Zack Sabre Jr. and AR Fox. Holy hell, what a match. Reg, I think we're in agreement on that one. That was just...
Yeah, either that or Fenix and Gringo Loco, because, you know me.
Man loves his stuff.
Yeah.
How was Trinity's debut?
It's good.
They had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. The first half of that, I was like, oh no, I want to be wrong, but people was already roasting her, like, oh, you still wrestling like that. And then by the second half of the match, she was like, turn it up.
Okay.
So love that.
Sweet.
That's what I like to see. KiLynn King beat the shit out of her though. All match beat the shit out of her.
It was the right match for them though. Go back and watch it, because
it's a good match. They gave it time too.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's perfect, but in a lot of ways, Trinity hadn't wrestled a match in a year. It had been 366 days until that point. So for that to knock the ring rust off and it be KiLynn King, I think it turned out pretty good.
And considering she's only ever wrestled in the WWE system, this was a perfectly fine match. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait till she settles in either. Look, we're going to get out of here, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask Joe Pearl Gacy, why haven't you released UIV yet? Let them go. I agree.
Let them go, Joe Pearl.
Why won't you let them just work Wembley like they deserve to?
Listen, when I win the North American Championship next weekend at NXT Battleground, only then will I let them be free.
Period.
I'm doing something for myself with those $7 in my pocket that I gave to The Rock's daughter to join my stable.
All right. Look, we know you spent the rest of your money on that neck shortening procedure that you had to have
Not
done.
the neck shortening.
It's crazy.
I actually took his neck because I had this beard. My neck is like all the way from this.
It's extra neck. You got the extra neck.
It's just neck.
Just neck.
It's just neck. Just neck.
Oh, man. All right. Well, happy anniversary. We're going to get out of here. Stay tuned for the Impact Post show. I can't wait to hear all about what happened. We're a better channel for having you guys. So thank you so much and enjoy your show.
Peace, y'all.
Thank you guys. You guys are fantastic.
Love you guys.
Me.
It's time. Hey, I host shows with these two people.
All the time.
There we go. Let's
zoom
fix
out.
ourselves here. I'm in the right spot. Oh, how we doing? How are you? How are you doing?
I wanted to get all fancy. So for those of you who will put back the curtain a little bit while Joel gets ready, I told Joel we're gonna wear suits. I had a full Vince McMahon get up. I was gonna do the voice the whole time. But as it turns out, my cats decided that the suit jacket, tuxedo jacket, sports coat that we had, my white cat said on this black coat, there's not enough white cat hair. So
Whoops.
what you gonna do?
That would do it. I'm tired, but let's go. Next week, Under Siege, we're going to do a post show. I'm going to talk about it when I start the official part of the show.
I can't wait.
The audio. For those who don't know, I usually give us a buffer room for a second so I can cut up the audio efficiently. So I'm ready if you are.
I believe in Joel Hendry.
What did I tell you? Super serious wrestler Dango.
He wasn't serious. Not at all.
I think he was. Let's talk about it. All right. Hello, friends. We're back again. It's Fightful.com. It is May 18th, 2023. It's time for your post-Impact Wrestling show. It's the 1-year anniversary of myself, at Joel Pearl, and Cresta Star doing this post-Impact gimmick. And I am so happy 1 year later to still be doing this with Cresta. And in a week, we've got Impact Under Siege. And we're going to be here for next week's post-Impact show. And then Friday night, we'll be back for Under Siege. And that's going to be the debut of Trinity on Impact's Insiders pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, Fight TV. That's going to be her second match back. But tonight we're going to talk about her first match in Impact Wrestling. Her first match in 366 days. It's a year and a day. But as always, I got Cresta Star. Cresta, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. You guys in audio form, you can't see that I have a lovely full beard. Call me Jonathan Gresham, who, by the way, wrestled tonight like a Tasmanian devil. If you looked up Tasmanian devil tonight, you would see Jonathan Gresham. Also, if you looked at 1920 Strongman, you would see Jonathan Gresham as well.
True, that mustache now really just cements it.
Bro, that mustache and those red boots tonight. I thought he was like, standing up, everyone. Listen up, gather around. I lift up a single man with a pinky.
You know what? The man gets a sauna delivered to his house, and suddenly he's just so fancy with his mustache.
I mean, relatable.
Right? Where's your mustache? Wait a minute, you have it.
Exactly. I have a full mustache, full beard, braided like Jonathan Gresham. I want to be an octopus. I can't wrestle a lick, but I will talk you down. And you know what I want to talk about, Joel Pearl?
Leaving a thumbs up on this video?
Yes, and that you could subscribe to Fightful Select. Why don't you tell me where I can subscribe to Fightful Select at, Joel Pearl?
Oh, come on. We do that a little later. We want to get the people in at FightfulSelect.com for the best $5 in the business. Listen, there's a lot to talk about. We'll talk about that a little later. But first, while you're leaving that thumbs up, if you want to donate a super chat, get your question or statement read on the air, kind of like our pal Jambeard here starts us off. Joel, to educate Cresta on some more Canadian stuff, you should inform her about log riding and smelling burnt toast. Isn't smelling burnt toast
a sign of a stroke?
That's a sign of a stroke. That's a thing. I don't know if that's Canadian specifically.
I love Canadians. I can't wait to ride a moose.
There was one
cowboy.
There was one in the main event tonight.
That's true, but that's not a Canadian moose.
Oh, that's good. I mean, he'll be in Canada next week.
You know what? I would like to see it.
And of course, log riding, there's an animated short you can watch. I'm sure that'll work.
I've seen log riding on YouTube. People break their legs.
They do. It's true. It's very scary.
Canadians are wild.
She's already Canadian. Here we are. She didn't have to come here. She's just watch Canadian stuff and she'll know. And if you don't want to do a super chat and you want to give us a little more of the pie, go ahead and go to humperchats.com. Cresta, you can tell them how, why, what, when, and where, I guess.
Listen, you can trust me. I'm a bearded woman trying to sell you wrestling from a questionable source. You head on over to humperchats.com. You can leave any comment. Well, keep it cute. Be nice. Leave a wrestling-related Impact comment, and we'll answer your question. Any donation amount gets it read on air. We get to keep a little bit of the proceeds. I'm happy. Joel's happy. Sean's happy. My beard is happy. We're all happy. Humperchats.com. Ding.
Bing bong. Okay, we're not doing that.
Because you gotta get derailed easy. I'm like a child.
That's right. Let's start off with BTI as we always do. And George Iceman gives us the intel as he does. Says that Joe Hendry joined Dirty Dango in the case of who shot Santino, not literally, of course. That Dango had an extensive list and he's narrowed it down to one culprit, and he'll let us know tonight. Well, we found out who that was, and I'm very excited to talk about it because I've been saying it for months. Super serious wrestler Dango has arrived.
Super serious.
Super serious. But first, we got to get through Kaun and Diener of the Design taking on Swingman and Zicky Dice. We got Dobby the Brain Heenan saying, happy first anniversary, Joel and Cresta. Thank you. Time flies by when you're waiting for the Swingman's first W on the road to 50. It wasn't to be tonight. Kaun and Diener get the win over Swingman and Dice, but probably the best looking tag match from Swinger and Zicky Dice. Cresta Star. What do you think of the match?
It is BS that it's not one, on 49, but you take what you can get. It was the best Johnny Swinger has looked. It's the best Zicky Dice has looked. And honestly, to that point, I do feel like we're supposed to be taking the Design seriously. That match should have been over lickety split. The fact that they even got so much offense in, that's great. I love it. I'm sports entertained by it. But on the flip side, I think once again, the Design is out here looking like, I'm dangerous. Are you?
Well, yeah. I mean, they got the win.
I mean, yeah, but like, what Johnny Swing? I mean, it's the most Johnny Swingers wrestle. His ponytail came out.
That's true. They took off the thing.
Freaking heels. That's heels. Nasty work.
Exactly. I like that Gia Miller starts us with team very serious versus team very silly. And then you've got Zicky Dice doing forward rolls like it's day 4 at wrestling school. And then
that was funny.
And then he does the cartwheel like gets punch in the face because that's just what you do. And then Swingman calling him a big con man and saying it makes sense that he wants big con. It's a good, a good funny match that had a good enough story involved on both sides. And of course, you have Swingman getting the shit kicked out of him until Diener misses a diving headbutt, and then Swingman gets a hot tag to Zicky Dice. Zicky Dice hits he gets hit with a top rope power bomb from Kaun. And then Diener comes back in at the request of Diener by Kaun, hits that DDT. They call it the antidote, and you get the pin on Zicky Dice. Easy peasy. You got to get the Design of victory going into Under Siege. Am I right?
True. The real winner here was Mean Gia Miller. Honestly, I want her on commentary for everything. She said, you ever heard of the term, don't bring a knife to a gunfight? Don't bring a swinger to a conflict.
What was that?
I love her. I don't know what this, I'm sorry, Ace Austin. I love your girl. I'm sorry. I love her.
You'll be bringing that energy to Saturday nights with that Collision potion. I know it. Are you gonna bring the beard too, or what do you think?
I need to get a new beard. That's what I need. I need to get a new beard first. The beard is fun, but the mustache is a lot easier. And I can't wait to bring that energy to Collision because I like wrestling. And somebody had during the ROH post show, they were like, I can't wait for Jeff Jarrett. I used to dislike Jeff Jarrett, but I can't wait to talk about Jeff Jarrett with you guys because Jeff Jarrett will get a check. No matter who it's from, he's getting a check.
Him and his wife. It's perfect.
For the life of me, I thought Jeff Jarrett was married to Dixie Karter.
What are you?
I know he's married to Karen Jarrett, but in my mind, I just had Dixie Karter. And Dixie Karter was just in my mind. I don't know why. I'm sorry to that man. I'm sorry to your wife. I'm sorry even Dixie Karter. I just thought it was Dixie Karter. I'm sorry, but it would make sense.
All this and more in 30 days in the AEW Collision Post Show on Fightful with Cresta Star, Iridian, and Riccacino. This is what you're going to get. Champion with the super chat saying, Joel, both are from those Moments in Canada commercials because I believe the surgery was done by a Canadian doctor. Okay, there you go. Talking about the stroke, burnt toast stuff.
I mean, true. The stroke, also known as the skull crushing finale.
Yes, the stroke, also the move that Jeff Jarrett uses, who's not married to Dixie Karter. He uses that move. Let's open up Impact with Trey Miguel versus Laredo Kid. Laredo Kid and Black Thorns announced that as of today, they are free agents. I guess technically yesterday. And I'm excited to see where they land. I guess then this makes it Laredo Kid's final Impact appearance, at least for now. But this match was really fun, as it often is with Trey and Laredo. I like that they had, Trey being that chicken shit heel, doing all the good heat work. He's just developing such a good character out of this. Laredo Kid hitting a standing Spanish fly that looked like Trey got spiked on his head.
Yes.
That was great. And then I don't know what it was, but that submission attempt that Laredo Kid tried on Trey Miguel, it was like a figure 4 setup, and then he turned it into a seated reverse stretch muffler tie-up thing.
I'm glad you knew how to describe it, because I was like, what is this?
I was trying commentary. I wasn't even biting at it. And I was just like, okay, he does the setup like this. And then he tries that. It was very strange. I don't know. I'm sure he'll have a name for it eventually. But either way, Trey Miguel's lightning spiral gets reversed into a near ref bump. And in the fray, Trey grabs Laredo Kid's mask right off his head, rolls him up, gets the 3. And before we get into the post-match, let's talk about the match itself, Cresta. What did you like? What did you not like? How'd you feel?
Trey Miguel, you scum. You son of a bitch, Trey Miguel. Oh my God, I laughed when he pulled off his mask. That is, whoa. Okay, if you overdo it, it loses its value. But Trey Miguel doing it here, oh, you piece of crap. You piece of crap. That was peak. That was peak. Because if your first time watching this, you think that Laredo Kid, this match, has Trey Miguel's number. He's outpowering him, keeping up with him on speed. But when he grabbed his mask and threw, I was like, Trey Miguel, you piece of shit. Oh my God. I laughed, I popped, I cried. That was peak. That was peak. But also, I will say, I peeped you being a human, because after you yeeted it, you pinned him, but then you grabbed his mask. It was like, here you go, homie. I see you. I see you peel back the curtain, breaking the fourth wall. You're supposed to the business, young man.
Hey, man, he still respects his elder. I don't even know the age gap there, but either way, there's some respect there. And
I respect it. That was a good thing to do. It was great human wise. It was an awesome finish. You're a piece of crap. I lived.
Exactly. And then post-match, Trey grabs a mic and tells Chicago, you're all a bunch of whiny little bitches. I'm a generational talent. I'm a generational champion. I don't get the respect I deserve, and I never got it from the suits in the back. So I'm going to hold the show ransom. I'm going to sit here until somebody comes out and shows me some respect. Out comes Chris Sabin, and I love that he comes out, and he has a match against Trey Miguel for the X Division Championship at Under Siege next week. And Sabin says, we all hear you. I agree that you don't get the respect that you deserve. But when you deface that X Division Championship, you disrespected the title, you disrespected the lineage, and therefore respect is out the window. You disrespected. He mentions AJ Styles, Low Key, Amazing Red, Jerry Lynn, Alex Shelley, Petey Williams, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, both of whom are currently with Jeff Jarrett. We're going to keep doing that. Mike Bailey, of course, Speedball Mike Bailey, Rich Swan, Josh Alexander. He says, all of us were disrespected by you defacing that championship. If you want respect, you have to give respect. And Sabin said he's going to give Trey respect by coming down here, looking him in the eye, and telling him that he's going to beat him at Under Siege to become the first ever, insert Booker T here, 9-time, I'm not going to do it 9 times, X Division champion. This was so good, and it got me excited for this match more than I was before. Now we've got story behind it. What do you think of this Sabin and Trey face to face?
What a good promo from Chris Sabin. Sometimes it's easy to forget how good Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin are apart, because they're always together. But what a good promo. Also, too, I want to put over how commentary all night, even here when Sabin listed off all those people, commentary even talked about Austin Aries and like, come on now. Like, when you talk about the longest reigning champion, Trey Miguel, doing it for the X Division, I respect it. I thought it was great. I thought this whole match, this whole situation was really good. It was Trey Miguel saying, you people, lay it down. It cut into commercial. He's still there like this. The worst. Trey Miguel is healing it up. Trey Miguel, is healing it's up. And I love it. I love it. This is peak heel work. This is the kind of heel work that if you haven't been watching, this is going to get under your skin. And it's so good, so good, so good.
And next week, when we give our predictions for the Under Siege show, I know that this is one match, as of right now, that I'm on the fence about, because there are so many ways that it can go. So we'll see what happens. But as of tonight, definitely felt a little more hype for that particular show. I like it. We're backstage with Trinity, and Jay Vidal walks up. Trinity's getting ready for her match against KiLynn King tonight. And Jay's like, hey, I got heat for that photo we took. And she said Giselle Shaw saw it. She wasn't happy. So eventually they get to the point where Giselle Shaw won't be cleared until next week, which is Under Siege. And then Trinity says, well, maybe she can come see me about that open contract challenge I have. And Vidal just kind of walks away in a huff. And later on, we found out that it's going to be Giselle Shaw versus Trinity. I'm excited for that. We'll talk more about that after Trinity's match. But yeah, just setting up a very straightforward thread going to the end of that Trinity match. I don't know if you have anything to add.
The only thing I will add is this is very reminiscent of that Jody Threat promo. That promo was woof. It made the point though. I'm not hating, but I'm just woof.
No, I get it.
Woof.
Jay is better in front of an audience than he is backstage, and I think he just thrives off of acting in front of people. And I think a lot of wrestlers are like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just trying to harness that power of the audience versus trying to do it in an empty room where you're acting. So I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. That's for sure.
I know it'll get better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. And it does, because the more reps you have in front of a camera, the more comfortable you get. It's like us. We've done this for a year. We didn't start this way. We have built that. We built together. So
I grew a mustache in this.
Yeah, exactly. And you've kept up with it very well. I, however, have regressed in my service because I just can't. You get up at 6:30 and your life just goes down by 10.
Well, at least when you laugh, your mustache doesn't come off.
It's true. I do need to trim it though. It's starting to get gnarly. Swan and Callahan, their little segment, I didn't actually hate it. I like that they set up the reason for their friendship. I like that they set up. A lot of people have been confused about why Swan and Callahan, and this was the first time where they really sat down and talked about it and gave some sort of clarity as to where they came from, where they got together, and all that stuff. What do you think of this sit down? And do you think maybe another would go a little bit further in setting up why it's important for those two to tag together at Under Siege?
I'm not gonna lie. The only note I have is we bros, bro. It felt kind of reminiscent to like the very first Frankie Kazarian promo we just got with the sit down. It felt very reminiscent of that. And I would rather not see another one of these. Just my personal opinion. The point was made, but it wasn't bad. It just, okay.
Yeah. To me, it was an opportunity to actually explain something that never really was explained with visuals before. It was always just like, are you making this stuff up? Or is this because we didn't have that history in front of us? That's why I liked it. But I also understand where you're coming from with like, this is just here. I get it.
Listen, at this point, you could go to the Don Callis School of Facts and I'll believe it because it's professional wrestling. Come on now.
Fair enough. Ace Austin takes on Jason Hotch. Myers and Skyler are ringside. There's a little pre-match fodder to good hand, built this house and all that stuff. This match was short and sweet. Myers gets a sucker punch on Austin, and then Hotch rolls up Austin for the victory. Bay and Skyler got involved. They did their thing. The bigger news out of this, honestly, isn't even anything involved with this match. Ace of Bays at Under Siege are going to take on Subculture, which I'm very excited to see Mark Andrews back in an Impact ring. Do you know much about Subculture from their time, either in NXT UK or anything like that?
No.
Get excited. They're a very good tag team. Yeah, Danny Luna's going to be there too. Mark Andrews and of course Flash Morgan Webster. This will be a really fun match at Subculture. I made the joke on Twitter when they announced the match. I said, "Did anyone tell Subculture that they're coming to London, Ontario?" I don't think they know. They're going to be very confused. Anyway,
that's funny. Like, we're going to London. Yeah, London, Canada.
Oh, they're going to get there and just going to be like, "Where's the king? Where's the roundabout? Where am I supposed to, what is this university over there? What is Weston?"
He's at home, love. You're in Canada, babes.
You're in Canada. Why did Danny Luna come with them? I think they all think it's a UK show. Anyway, it's not.
Bring UK to Canada, period.
Good. Who knows? Matthew Hooks asking, will Impact and AEW ever share talent again? Hey, never say never. Right now, I'm perfectly happy watching them do their things from apart. And that's that. How do you feel? Do you think Impact and AEW will share talent? Would you like to see them do that again?
I would like to see them do that again, but largely because I like that Impact is open for business. You know what I mean? Impact is very much like the more eyes we get on Impact, the more eyes we get on these wrestlers, because it really feels like Impact is for the wrestlers, if you will. As crazy or as much as we may complain, I feel like the wrestlers really have a good chance to showcase whatever they want at Impact. I would like it, but again, that's up to Tony Khan and Scott D'Amore.
Scott D'Amore, who, by the way, is going to do a sit-down podcast with Conrad Thompson, of course, but they're not going to do it anywhere that would be normal in this world. They're going to do it on that Australian tour in Wagga Wagga.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
They're going to fly the Canadian and the guy from Huntsville, Alabama, down under to talk about the business of wrestling. That is the most amazingly carny, fun thing I've ever heard, and I love it.
It needs to be moderated by Don Callis for it to truly be carny.
Don makes that trip. I need to make that trip. That's the one I don't think I can do that. That plane ride is hell. We talked about it.
What you told me, hell on earth. I'll watch you from Zoom, girl.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Macklin was singing Shira. I'm sure PCO wished he had watched this from Zoom because he didn't see what came next. Macklin was like, hey, you got to prove yourself again after you proved yourself to me last week. Let's just fast forward. They go and they take out PCO, the three of them. Shira chokeslams PCO onto a ton of flattened boxes. And you've got PCO like writhing on the ground, yelling, my back. And then Singh grabs some concrete slabs, like the ones you put in the walk up to your garden, or maybe it's your patio set. And he just puts them on PCO's back, and Macklin just hits them with a sledgehammer. And PCO's just screaming and reacting. And it sounds like a lost puppy who's hurt. What do you think of this segment with Macklin, PCO, Singh, and Shira?
I didn't hate it. But also, so officials and refs don't help PCO. What's going on? My neighbors heard PCO screaming in pain. Come on now. Nobody heard that? Second of all, I'm kind of torn. How you screaming in my back when 5 seconds ago, I don't die. I liked it. I'm easily entertained. I'm very easily entertained. All right. So I liked it. It was so bad that it went to good. I was like, oh my God, this is a sledgehammer. Where are the refs? Singh and Shira, he's not giving you a title shot, right? Oh my God, this is great.
I don't know what's going to happen with the Singh and Shira thing. It's there and it's fun, but it's weird as hell.
It's funny. It's one of those things where it's like, turn your brain off. Don't think about it too much. Because it's so silly that it's funny, bro. Because I feel like at the end of the day, yeah, PCO gonna get beat up. And she gets you gonna get beat up for your trouble.
Their no DQ match at Under Siege, though, that's going to be real good.
Oh, that's going to be sports entertainment, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm anticipating sports entertainment because I've doubted PCO in the past, but not this time.
They're setting up to use everything, and I love it. They'll use the sledgehammer, they'll use the shovel, they'll use concrete slabs, they'll use everything you've seen so far and more, and I'm okay with that. I'm looking forward to this match, and I'm looking more forward to the show now that they've built around it. And now that they've added a lot of really solid matches. And again, not to compare other companies, but I felt the same way going into AEW Double or Nothing. The main event, that tag team, the World Championship 4-way, yeah, it's fine. But the stuff they're building around it, that's making it a must-see show. So I'm looking forward to Under Siege. And of course, I'm looking forward to Double or Nothing. By the way, Under Siege, we're going to be live after the show next Friday. Once it goes off the air, you and I will, Cresta and I we'll talk about it. How's that?
Sounds fantastic. I have to get this bobby pin out of my ear. Oh my God, my little Keebler elf ears were dying.
That sounds very painful.
Yeah, the worst. Yeah, I mean, I can see where this match is going to go, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Because at this point, Singh and Shira are going to cheat. Oh, they're definitely going to cheat.
Oh, it's no DQ. There's no cheating, and they're just going to get involved.
Honor no more honor.
You don't need that anyway.
So I'm just saying, it would be advantageous of PCO to go find some undead friends, and the only thing I could think of is Decay, but I don't see that happening. So
who knows? PCO can find some friends. Who knows who that's going to be? I think Heath and Rhino, or at least Heath is going to show up.
Probably that makes sense, but at the end, I'm anticipating sports entertainment. So throw the bed out in the kitchen sink. Sorry, my mouth is glued together. I apologize.
The kitchen shank.
A kitchen shank.
Anyway, Gia Miller's with Jordan Grace. She never gets tied up in her words. Grace says that I want Deanna at my best. I want to beat her at her best. And I want no doubt in anyone's mind that when I beat her, I will be the face of the company. And then Jordan says last week was an accident. And then in walks Alicia Edwards.
She wasn't that. Listen.
Wasn't that
so,
good?
She wasn't that bad. No, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Come here. I don't even know where my conspiracy theory hat is, but I'm not gonna put it on because I got this beehive. Listen, Linda, listen. For weeks you've been saying Jordan Grace goes heel. Gresham goes heel. We got a heel power couple. Alicia's seeing through the bullshit, her little Jersey Boston accent. You meant to hit her. You're a liar. It made perfect sense because even if you weren't sure or you were like, okay, she didn't do that on purpose. Now there's definitely some sort of doubt. Alicia, you gonna get beat up by Jordan Grace. Why are you here, girl? I like it. If Jordan snaps up, I'm here for it. I'm here. I think Alicia played her part. Alicia, whatever. She played her part. And I respect it. Stirring the pot. I see you.
And then Jordan freaks out Lish with a punch. Lish flinches and walks away saying Grace is lying. You may be right. I don't know where it's going to go. I know we've been talking about Jordan Grace turning heel for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Gresham is lost in the ether. He didn't really play a role. Well, he played a role in the 6-man in the main event, but I don't necessarily expect him to win that number 1 contendership match. But also I kind of do because we'll talk about it later. But given the depth chart in Impact and who's a heel, who's a face, it might make sense to have him win, but we'll get there in a few minutes. Instead, we'll reshift. We'll talk about Trinity and KiLynn King. That was Trinity's first match, like I said, in almost a year. The gear looks great on Trinity. She's doing something different. It's working. The only thing, and I've said this about other wrestlers, gender non-specific. If you got to tug at your gear throughout the entire match, it's time to fix it. And that, unfortunately, was something that Trinity was struggling with.
I agree. I think drag queen to drag queen because I think all wrestlers are drag queens.
I get it.
A simple mesh right there would have saved you so much. Whatever. I said this in our transition from the ROH post show to this one. In the first half, they had me. Not gonna lie. Trinity was doing a lot of the WWE moves. And I was like, I don't want people to have anything to say because I'm going to keep my rose-colored glasses on. I'm going to tweet on Twitter. Yeah, this is the best match I've ever seen in my life. I'm a capper. But as the match went on, let me first say KiLynn King beat the shit out of Trinity. She let that girl have it. She let Trinity have it that whole match. And Trinity selling, Trinity looked like KiLynn was letting her have it that whole match. So even if KiLynn wasn't, Trinity was selling like she was getting her ass whooped. But towards the middle of the second third into the final third of the match, Trinity started really going in. Let me look at my notes real quick. Hold on one moment. It was Trinity doing, she went off the middle rope, got pushed by Taylor Wilde. Taylor Wilde gets ejected. And then Trinity does something, I think it's like a double knee, almost like a Meteora or whatever it was. And then for the pin, she puts her in the Starstruck. I've never seen her do that ever before in my life. And I was thoroughly impressed. Sports entertained. I think that Trinity is going to have an amazing future in Impact. I think as time goes on, I'm going to be more excited. And I can't wait for the eventual Purrazzo, for the eventual Grace. Shit, the eventual Masha, Killer Kelly. You know what I mean? I can't wait for it. I'm very impressed. And Impact once again has proven, come here, girl. Come here, boy. Whatever, come here. We'll let you live your little creative wrestling dreams. Joel, what did you think about the match before we get into the post-match?
The match was fine. Again, for someone who hadn't wrestled in a year on TV, she showed a lot of promise. She used a lot of her WWE known move and repertoire, and that's fine. Again, you use what works. I love KiLynn King selling well with all the kicks and everything. And then when Trinity went for the rear view early, she knew from last week to duck out of the ring, get out of there, and get the fake out, which was great. The crossbody from the top was great from Trinity. She's still throwing those well. She's trying. This is something that Trinity's trying to do now. It's that ring assisted slingshot pile driver. Where she's not using her hands to lift up her opponent. She's letting her opponent sit through the middle rope, and then she grabs her legs and her thighs and slams him down with the jump. I like that. If it's new to her repertoire and she continues to use it, it's a great setup. Starstruck, she's used that submission before, but she didn't use it as frequently as it seems like she's going to start using it now. And I think that that's good for her. I think that adds a new layer to Trinity as a wrestler that we didn't
100%.
always get to see when she was in WWE. That's cool. And it's good submission. It looks good. It's face to face with your opponent. You get to see the look on both people's faces, and the tap out happens right in front of the camera. So it's visually appealing as well. I was happy with the match. I thought it went over well. Again, it wasn't perfect. It never was going to be. But for someone who hadn't been in a ring on TV, wrestling in front of a crowd in over a year, it served its purpose, and it got me looking forward to what comes next. Post-match, Giselle Shaw themes hits. Out comes Jay Vidal, says Giselle's the hottest thing in Impact, not Trinity. And Giselle Shaw accepts Trinity's open challenge at Under Siege. And then right as he's in the ring and he's about to slap Trinity, say one more thing, Trinity grabs his arm and then with that microphone in her hand says, I'll see her at Under Siege. And then kicks Jay Vidal right in the face. Good way to set up with Giselle not being at the tapings and not being there. Using Jay as a setup was good. What do you think of the post-match angle?
It's fine. I feel like we all knew it was going towards Giselle Shaw. I just wonder and worry what that means for the Coven. Never want to see your champions get pinned. Well, also doesn't mean Trinity is now going to angle for a tag title shot. Kind of want to see her stand on her own for a little bit. Don't think it's going to happen, but kind of interested to see the implications. Can't wait for the Giselle Shaw Trinity match. That'd be cute. And I could see the promos next week between Giselle Shaw, Jay Vidal, and Trinity is going to be clownery. I will also say her Starstruck is up there in my top 3 favorite finishing moves visually. Number 1 being Coda Silas, number 2 being the Venus de Milo. That Deanna does. It's so pretty. It's so pretty when she does it.
It's very good. Dex Baker with a super chat. Back to the Alicia Edwards stuff. It's the fact that Alicia Edwards will talk reckless to everyone, knowing she's still catching the L. Best character. I mean, listen, I get it. I like Lish. I like Lish the human, and I like Lish the wrestler. Lish the talker, not for me.
Sometimes you just gotta not. She doesn't afraid of nobody, man. And if I'm gonna lose, if I know I'm gonna lose, I'm either talking shit on the swing, daddy, baby. You wanna go with me to dungeon? Hey, yo.
Anyway, come to the dungeon with us over at FightfulSelect.com for the best $5 in the business. It's the Fightful Dungeon. No, it's FightfulSelect.com. You want to know more about Brian Danielson, as he is, of course, joining AEW Collision and the creative team. Why did I lead with Daniel Bryan? Is because during his time in WWE, he did a little bit of creative work. So Brian Danielson's going to take that and work over on AEW Creative over on Collision. So go check out that, along with so much news about AEW Collision, so much news about CM Punk, I'm so over it.
Look in my eyes.
But if you want all the news on CM Punk and more, go over to FightfulSelect.com. Will Ospreay interview notes are up now. The interview drops shortly. And of course, you get so much more than just the news. There's so much content there. Ask Grapsody was earlier today. Righteous Reg, who is on the Ring of Honor post show, which airs before our show. He's part of that with Phil Lindsay. Sour Graps, who has, of course, Kate, who, guess what, was just on the, you bet, Ring of Honor post show. Kate and Alex do Sour Graps, and we got Coexisting After Dark with Rob and Maggie. So much more stuff. I'm hosting my quarterly, I guess, Q&A with Jimmy Van. That's going to be sometime in June, so keep your ears open. It's all happening. Over at FightfulSelect.com, best $5 in the business. Starts at $5. You can go higher than that if you want and get more exclusive content. It's up to you, but all the good stuff starts at $5. Okay?
5 times.
5 time, 9 time, 9 time, 9. I'm not going to do it. Jessica with the Coven. Jessica's sitting backstage looking at that hourglass. It's getting closer to the end, and the Coven walk up, and they're like, "Where's your friend, Jessica? What's the holdup? Why don't you go get her?" And Jessica's like, "No, it's locked. The door is locked, and it's locked with magic." And Wild's like, "Oh, kind of like the magic I can use. I can unlock the door with spirit. Let me call her." And Jessica says, "No, you can't. I was told you can't do that because you're immortal," or whatever it was. There was a whole explanation. And then Jessica taunts KiLynn King for losing her match. Wild says that she's setting the groundwork for what's to come. This wasn't the greatest segment. It felt like we were just kind of getting week to week to get to the next beat once Rosemary and Father James Mitchell come back from the Undead Realm. I don't know if you have anything to add to this.
I just nod like this because like there's nothing really to say. Sorry.
Yep. We'll see where it goes next week.
Yep.
Fine by me. Jody Threat versus Sierra. Sierra is 23 years old and she is making waves. She just appeared in NWA. AEW, she's been on Dark and Rampage a handful of times. She's been on AEW. She's been around and she's doing great work. She appeared tonight. This was her first go in Impact Wrestling. Good match, solid, standard Jody Threat match, just a squash match. Do that middle rope thrash and dash into the German suplex and then the F416. Jody Threat gets the win. What's going to be her first big hurdle, do you think, Cresta Star?
Killer Kelly.
The Redhead Express?
The Redhead Express is taking over Impact because I think Killer Kelly would be a good thing, but it's probably going to be Giselle Shaw. Logically speaking, Giselle Shaw. It'll probably be Giselle Shaw when she's done with Trinity. But I could see her having a good couple of matches with Killer Kelly. And depending on how the matches with Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich go, it could be you could be fighting both of those crazy redheads. It could just be redheaded violence. Title of your new Impact match, redheaded violence.
Love it. Redhead violence for all. I'm okay with it.
Special refs by Raven.
Victoria will come in just for one night.
I'm with it. Come on, bring it back.
Yeah, Tara's back to referee the match. I'm fine with it. Again, I like that they're positioning Jody Threat as a threat to the Knockouts division. No pun intended, but here we are. And on top of that, she continues to work well on camera and she continues to get better. Eventually, the matches will start getting more and more difficult, and there'll be people that we actually recognize that aren't just named Alicia Edwards, but we got to get there first. I think Giselle Shaw is a good shout. I think maybe even members of the Coven. You can have KiLynn King or Taylor Wilde start a program with Jody Threat down the line.
I was thinking that too. Like in a situation where you need people to do things, you could put Trinity and Jody together to fight the Coven for a non-title match. It's like Trey Miguel's thing earlier for a non-title match. You do something like that for the funsies, and it gives women, all four women, experience with one another. Yeah,
exactly. We're backstage with Eddie Edwards and Kazarian. Eddie says he's happy for Kazarian and that he's had his big homecoming. He's doing well, but there can't be two ring generals out there in the 6-man tag, and that Kaz should follow Edwards' lead. Kazarian's like, sure, yeah, no problem. I'll do that. I'll follow your lead. I just hope it goes better than Honor No More.
Sick burn.
They got it. They did just a whole like, got him, and then all of a sudden just balloons explode in the sky and everyone's happy. He did
He's
it.
not wrong. I mean, was it nice? No. Was it right? Yes.
Absolutely. It was fine. It set up the drama in the 6-man tag. It feels like Edwards and Kazarian could be what happens after Under Siege, and that's okay with me too. They started telling a good story with these two tonight. And if it gets Kazarian a little bit closer to an inevitable match against Macklin, sure. This is a good stepping stone.
I'm going to be optimistic here. I will say I enjoy Eddie Edwards wrestling, but something about his character to me is just like, ugh. I'm hoping, because I like Frankie Kazarian, I'm hoping that something in between this feud will change my mind about Eddie Edwards' character. His character is aching to me of like a Baron Corbin, and I cannot explain it. I cannot explain it because I enjoy his wrestling. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. Every time, like, I don't care about this Eddie Edwards match. He goes out there and the match slaps, and I'm upset. So I'm hoping that something in this feud, because Kazarian later on in the match does what Eddie Edwards. Oh, you want me to take the lead? You got it, fearless leader. So I'm hoping. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic about that feud eventually happening.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, Edwards' character isn't doing it for you. It's never done it for me. I need something more than just disgruntled employee. That's what we've had for the last couple of years. It's time for something new. What I do like is Dirty Dango in the back with Johnny Swinger, Zicky Dice, and of course, say his name when he appears.
Oh, I got a soundboard for you now. I hope you're ready, Joel.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I live for it. Let's hear it. So low.
Oh. Because it's coming through my speakers, but you know, every time I'm just gonna.
Dango says there's no way it could have been Swingman or Dice, especially after last week's match. And then, of course, they say his name, and then Dice blames Joe Hendry. Hendry eventually tears Dango's shirt and reveals a missing tuft of hair.
Oh, scandalo.
I do actually like that they called back to the match that they had where Dango was wearing a t-shirt and we wondered why. Now we know. It turns out Super Serious Dango did it. He took out Super Serious Santino.
I got worked. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Maybe I'm the only one who didn't see it coming. But I didn't see it coming. When he ripped off his shirt, I was like, you son of a bitch, Morty. It was you with the ripped hair. And that's why you had I was bamboozled. I was run amok. I was led astray. And I enjoyed it. But then again, it had Johnny Swinger, Zicky Dice, Joe Hendry, and Dirty Dangle, who's been growing on me because it's getting weird.
It was good.
It was good. It was a good wrestling segment, I believed. And then the fact that Dango and Hendry probably going to go for digital media championship. I could see Joe Hendry losing it here. I could also see Hendry retaining. I'm excited.
Listen, I know we've joked about it for weeks, months even.
Mm-hmm.
Dango once upon a time said that he wants to try being a super serious wrestler. And we've continued to see week after week that he's just not doing it. Turn off your soundboard.
That was a truck. that was the ambient sounds of New York City coming to the stage.
That's right. So we've tried with Dango. They've done what they've done with him, and you know what? It's worked up until now. But now it's time to try something new with Dango, and that is a serious character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they do from here, but if Joe Hendry is going to drop that digital media championship to Dango, they got to find a way to make Dango still be serious. Or let Dango lose, make up some excuse as to why he lost because as a heel, and then let him go after a serious match or a serious feud. Of course, it's all the roads leading to Santino at this point. But Santino versus Dango at Slammiversary wouldn't be bad as long as it doesn't play off as a full-on comedy match.
I wish I had my helmet because I just thought it was the dumbest but the best idea. Dango, Joe Hendry have their match under Siege. Dango loses. Okay, you know, it's a little setback. Santino comes back. Dango loses to Santino. Dango loses it. Beats the hell out of Santino after the match. Becomes a super serious wrestler. First person he goes after is Joe Hendry. Because I tried to be your friend and you were always too busy for me. And now that I'm on the rise, I'm coming for you first. That's when he drops the title. Maybe he doesn't lose it at first, but then Dango just becomes a menace. Like Sami Callihan was to some wrestlers, and you're not wrestling. It's a Sami Callihan versus you every time. I could see it. That's my plan. That's how I would book it. You know, that's how I would do it.
If Trey drops the X Division Championship, I wouldn't mind Dango going for the X Division Championship against Chris Sabin. Start that feud. He can lose, but at least he'll start building that serious character. Because Dango's apparently going to be with Impact for a little while longer. So there's time to flesh out whatever this new character will be.
I think it depends on how he turns heel. Because when I think of Sabin and Shelly, I kind of see going towards the top of the mountain. Like these are guys who are milestones that they're towards the top of the mountain. I'm not saying that Joe Hendry isn't, but I'm saying like if you're going to challenge Chris Sabin, who's been in Impact Wrestling since Impact Wrestling was TNA, you better stop.
I get it. I do. There's a lot on the table for a Dango heel turn, and it's very interesting that of all things tonight, that might be the most interesting character development we see.
I'd be with it. I'd be very interested to see how that would play out. I've never seen Dango serious ever in life.
And now it's time.
You know, he might even get Johnny Swingo with. He might turn Johnny Swingo serious. Johnny Swingo turned to Steve Macklin.
Oh, I love it. Let's do it. Next week, they're running Rich Swann and Alan Angels, or just Angels from the design. Speedball Mike Bailey, who's currently in Japan doing the Best of the Super Juniors, he's going to take on Chris Sabin, of course. Sabin is going to challenge Trey Miguel the next night at Impact Under Siege. And they're going to run one more match that I don't think they've announced yet with Deanna and a very interesting opponent, one that we've been talking about with red hair, not named Masha Slamovich or Jody Threat. So keep an eye out. That's going to be a good match. We'll wait for them to officially put it out there.
I don't know who it could be. Pikachu?
Yeah, that's the one. Main event tags: Shelly, Gresham, and Uemura versus Moose, Kazarian, and Edwards. One of these things is not like the other. Kazarian.
I said Uemura was here to take the pin. Very pleasantly surprised I was wrong.
Yes, you were. I don't know if they're thinking of a Kazarian heel turn or if they just wanted to use it as a vehicle to get Kazarian and Edwards. By the end of this match, we know exactly what it was. It was the latter. Shelly and Edwards open it up. Commentary is doing their best to make everybody sound like a legitimate, viable contender for Macklin's world title. Even Uemura, who has not really sniffed a world title program or any title program up until this point. So they're doing really well. Gresham and Moose have some good exchanges as expected. They do the big man, little man stuff, and eventually the hyperextension of Moose's knee gets him off his feet and tags out real quick. I do like the Kaz and Shelly are part of the final two. Both men, like final two in the finish of the match going into it. I like that they're bringing up that both men have never been world champions after years in and out of the company. And again, it just feels like Kazarian and Edwards is on the horizon, and that's fine. Uemura looks good taking out Moose on the outside with that crossbody. Kaz and Eddie had that miscommunication and the collision, so Kazarian clotheslines Eddie Edwards, leaving Shelly to hit Edwards with a shell shock and get the victory, which means Alex Shelley will not be number one contender for the Impact World Championship after Under Siege. What do you think of the match? What the hell are we doing with all these men? Cresta Star.
I mean, if we're being honest, these were... And I don't think Yuha's not a main eventer. It's just that, like you said, he hasn't sniffed a program. He hasn't even been involved in a program. But these were all pretty much a main event scene, putting on a classic for you guys. But I would be remiss if I thought this was Tasmania and Jonathan Gresham. I was waiting every time they tagged in Jonathan Gresham. The first time you saw he was about it was when they tag teamed Eddie Edwards and they both went for that man's upper leg cash it. Eddie Edwards' quads are going to be blown out. Call him Shane McMahon at this point. His quads are so effed for his Under Siege this weekend. Also, when he tagged in again, I think it was against Moose, he's doing the same thing. I want Jonathan Gresham to take everything. I think he's fantastic. I'm surprised he didn't get the pin. He was working this match. Jonathan Gresham was working. I don't know. I can't sit up here and lie to you because I only paid attention to Jonathan Gresham because he just took me out them damn red boots. Them damn red boots.
They're red bottoms. They're just red boots, though.
His red boots are giving me step right up, step right up. I lift this man with a single pinky, and I'm with it. I like it. I think it's great for his gimmick. I know people say don't call me a carny piece of crap, but what's wrong with that? Look at me. I'm a bearded woman. I think it's great. I think it's great.
So you got these six men competing in Under Siege, and I know we're going to give our thoughts next week as to who wins. It feels like Kazarian and Edwards are going to turn into a program. Moose hasn't exactly been in a world title situation in a while, but also your current Impact World Champion is on the heel side of things. Gresham is currently a face. He's a good opportunity challenger. Uemura, we just talked about it. He hasn't been in that opportunity, but what if this is his time? And Alex Shelley, while he got the pin, that's more of a WWE trope that if you get the pin, you stand tall, you're not going to win the match. But what if we live in a world where Alex Shelley is going to challenge for the world championship and Chris Sabin potentially wins the X Division championship? There's something about that might be intriguing to some.
Motor City Machine winners.
Yeah, big winners in Detroit. Who knows?
I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad shout. I mean, I think that any one of these men, and I will give it to Impact, I never know. For the most part, when it comes to big matches like this, I'm not sure which way it's going to go. And they build a good way to build it up like you don't know who's going to win it or whatever the case may be. I firmly believe that there's a world where Jonathan Gresham wins it, loses to Macklin, snaps.
Yeah.
Subsequently, Jordan Grace loses to Perazo, snaps. The both of them are like, we don't care. You want a power couple? We are the power couple. Look at you see these arms? You see his arms? The both rip you to shreds. I can see it. And I wouldn't be mad at it. I think a heel Grace, come on now. I'm here for it. Just beat people up. Yes.
The only problem is you got to deal with the heel Gresham and a heel Macklin afterwards. So something's got to happen, but I don't hate the idea of it. But we'll talk more about it next week when we actually run down the Under Siege card and give our thoughts and predictions. Next week, we will be here, as always, profiling, talking about post Impact Wrestling. And then Friday night, the 26th, we'll be live after Under Siege, talking about the show, running it down with y'all. I don't have much else to say. So, Cresta, what you got going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for a wonderful year of post-Impact shows. Joe Pearl, you have been a pleasure to work with. You've been like my wrestling mentor, so I got to give you your praise. Even though everyone likes to poop on your wiener, not here.
They like to what? They like to what am I what now?
They have nothing nice to say about Joe Pearl, but I always do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not too busy coming for Saturdays coming up, do you like AEW Collision? Why not me? I'm gonna attempt to pronounce everyone's name because I've heard it a million times, but I'm 9,000 years old and I'm hard of hearing. Rick and Idris? No. Iridian. Idris is Elba. Iridian, like Viridian City, but with Iridian. Got it. I'll never forget it again. Why don't you join me and Rick and Iridian? We're going to be talking about everything that happens on AEW Collision. Your favorite Jeff Jarrett. We'll be there every Saturday for the post show. Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, you can catch me over on twitch.tv/CrestaStar. Thursdays, I'm here with Joe Pearl. You guys have been fantastic. If you're like, I don't follow anything you just said, Cresta Star, Cresta the Star on Twitter. My link tree is in the bio. All the links are there. See you there. Joe Pearl, where can they find you?
Not hard to find. I'm at Joel Pearl, JoelParl, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 a.m. Eastern until noon. Myself and Jeremy Lambert get in the weeds on Fightful Overbooked. Go over to FightfulOverbooked.com or YouTube.com/FightfulOverbooked. They're the same link. Spoiler alert. Go subscribe to the channel now. There is so much content beyond what Jeremy and I do. Go show some love to that channel. I do a show with Ella J, who many of you know. It's called The Run Sheets. It's a podcast that we run audio only every Wednesday. So go to your favorite podcast platforms and just go click that subscribe button and get the Run Sheets, the rundown with myself and Ella J every single Wednesday. Until then, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.